I'm the one with the Scorn Bible, and I'm going to explain to you why all this process right here that you see right here, you see all that? Why that is not turning into this. First, you gotta kind of explain the process of getting turned into a shell. Getting your mind transferred into one of these. You can take a nice read here if you want. I'll give you some nice time to pause and take a read if you want. But I'm going to give you a basic rundown, right? So, like what happens in game, you get in the machine, you get into that little thing that this guy that looks like this, cuts you open, takes your shit, slugs your shit, and cuts your head open. You can see in that area that there's multiple other people, multiple other beings that went through that same process. They got connected to hive mind. Now, that process, let me go to this page, their mind was transferred into that big old hive mind, and they're able to take over shells. They're able to take over shells. You can read, you can take a nice read at the process right here. You can take a nice read at the process right here. It's a form of ascension. What Scorn Guy did is he transferred his consciousness to this. If anything, if Scorn Guy just, he could have been completely fine. He could have been completely fine. He could have just been this and be chill and be over with it. But he didn't. He tried going through the portal. This, again, shows process. Here's process. Them going through this stage. I'll explain. You can see what happens in this. There's another page that explains. See? You can take a nice read. You can read right here. This demonstrates a process. Basically, mind takes over shell, and then it will start growing over time. Here's more looks at a shell. Here's more looks. This is a shell. One can assume that the form below this looked something like this, the machinery. Mind took over and transformed the whole look. That's the shell process. That's the process. That's why this is why, hold up. That is why this is why Scorn Guy, this is Scorn Guy after Parasite. See, this is Parasite, not shell. None of this has anything related to the Ascension or shells. Here's a nice read. Here's a nice look if you want to read this, if you are interested enough. That is why, hold up, I gotta go to the page real quick. Hold up. That's why he is not turning into one of that. See? He's not turning into one of that. He is not doing that. That is not gonna happen. Sorry, but that's not happening. Here, you can read if you want. You can take a nice read. You can take a nice read. You can take a nice read if you want. If you want to. But this has nothing to do with the ascension process. If anything, I'd say that this is in that world, if anything, this is probably like fucking blasphemous. But like, just saying. Just saying.